Hello everyone, this is my third term here at Automation Works. In this term we did industrial automation. For my project I decided on a water control level system. I saw that people who own water tanks or silos often don't know the level of the tank. This causes them to overfill it or it running dry. If they own water tanks, they check by knocking on the side of it or by looking at the top, but this isn't really reliable or accurate. If they don't know the water level of the tank, they can leave it on, causing it to run dry. This reduces the lifespan of the pump and also doesn't pump water into the pump. When they leave it on, they waste electricity and water because it falls over. Running the pump dry also reduces its lifespan, as I mentioned before. When they forgot to turn the pump off, when they forgot to turn the pump on, it leaves them without water, which can cause plants to dry out if it's used for agriculture. I got the idea of my system from Tanny Elmery after she mentioned the problem on Wynand's place. The workers sometimes forget to turn the pumps on or off and then go home, which causes it to be without water for the weekend, or it's overflowing the whole weekend. My project automatically turns the pump on as soon as empty and turns the pump on as soon as it's full. Turn the pump off as soon as it's full. My problem statement is to design and build a low-cost PLC-controlled water control level system that indicates water levels based on water sensor readings. This is to prevent water from going above or below critical levels and refilling automatically. My solution process is that farmers or people without water or with water tanks doesn't know how full it is. For my research, I did research on different types of fillings, such as solids and liquids, and looked at the advantages and disadvantages. I also looked at different sensors, such as the float switch and the non-contact level switch, and ultimately decided on an optical infrared level sensor, as it's reliable and everything is waterproof because it's just waterproof. My product can be used in multiple industries such as food and beverages, water treatment plants, and agriculture. By using a PLC control system instead of simple switches, the users gain higher reliability and better and less downtime because there's no mechanical floats to stick. Better safety because I have an interlock that prevents the pumps from running when the valve is open or the valve from being open while the pump is running. I also add data and scalability, where the logic can easily be adjusted based on the user's needs. I also add data and monitoring, where the PLC can log the usage. It can log the usages, detect leaks, and sound alarms. For example, if the valve is open and all of a sudden the tank is empty, you know that there is a leak. I also added SCADA for real-time feedback and control. You can see when the pump is on or not, while not physically there. My key components was a PLC. I used a Siemens logo because it's designed for industrial control. It's robust and allows for easy programming. It reads sensor inputs and decides when to turn the pump or valve on. or off. I also added SCADA, so it can be monitored from home or over local network. SCADA is a computer-based system that monitors and controls industrial processes using real-time data. I have 2 liquid level sensors. They have no moving parts and are reliable. I use 2 instead of just 1 to get multiple outputs and readings. I use a 12-volt pump that transfers water from the reservoir into the tank. I use valves and piping to simulate real-world uses. I see my project as unique because I use industrial-grade equipment instead of hobby electronics. I get reliability for 2 sensors instead of just 1. It has a built-in safety feature, as I mentioned before, with the valve and pump, not being able to be on at the same time. I also make use of SCADA to monitor the sensors' outputs. These are my hand sketches, so where you can see the first drawings I made, and basically that's the electronics, wiring. Over here is all the parts I used. Over here is my CAD sketch. As you can see, this is my water tank with pumps, which stores the water. Over here is my valve, which automatically drains the system. And over here is my pump, which pumps water into the tank. And over here is my two level sensors. This is my piping and instrumental diagram. It shows my tank, my valve, my reservoir, my pumps, and my 2 sensors. I also looked at some alternative sensors like the float switch. It doesn't require you to modify the tank. However, it requires a bigger tank to work more effectively. I also looked at a non-contact switch, which doesn't require you to modify the tank as well. However, it has environmental interferences, which can mess with the sensor readings. I first tested all my projects individually, then together. I then connected to my logo and tested them. I then wrote a program, did my physical build, and tested it. And I looked for any errors and fixed it. Here's a slideshow I made of the assembly of my product. You see there I added the pump, the valves, and the tank. Some tools I used was a drill to drill holes into the tank for the sensors. I used a soldering iron to make secure wire connections. I used a multimeter to test connections. I used crimpers to secure the wires going into the PLC. I used wire strippers to strip wires. the heating tubing to avoid short circuits, and several hand tools such as hammers and pliers. I use a PLC which controls everything. I did my program in Logo Soft Comfort, and I use the Logo Web Editor to make my SCADA. I demonstrated function block diagram skills by making the program in the Logo software. I also demonstrated problem solving skills because on the website where I bought the sensors from, it was labeled misleadingly and I had to rewrite it on my own. I also designed and 3D printed some connectors between the pump and the pipes. For my tutorial project, I designed and assembled a phase stoke stacking kit. That's how it works. I didn't get mine to work because I didn't have enough time. I wanted to perfect my presentation. It basically just pushes this onto another object and then places them together. And then retracts again and pushes the next one. This took me a few days to complete this kit when I first got it. I first identified the real world problem. I then did research based on the different systems that exist. I selected components to best fit my needs. I then tested the components first individually, then together. I wrote my program, tested it, and made sure there was any errors. I then did one final test to make sure everything was working fine. I used two websites to complete my research, roycewater.com and PCSC. I use Royce Water Systems to look at different types of water systems and accessories such as level meters and monitoring stations. They sell all types of water equipment and are useful if you want to find out more about water systems. Also, I had to look at pump systems and controls, also known as PSC, to look at real systems they built. I took inspiration for my own design from a system they built. They are set in Durban but operate all over South Africa. They post their project on Facebook, which makes them reliable. I also visited on Wynand's farm and had to look at their water system. I talked to one of the workers there and asked what he would change about the current system and setup and what improvements he would add. I saw that I had to manually turn the pump on or off, which sometimes they forget to do, causing it to overflow and damaging the pump over here. So water flows from there and then falls on the pump. Or sometimes I forget to turn it on, which can leave them without water for the weekend or the afternoon. I use PCSC to look at the designs and improve on my own. I also use my research to identify the different types of valves and sensors and which would best benefit me. I found out that a float switch isn't really reliable in a small tank. This is my activity log. I can see I spend most of my time working on my theory work and design project. Every Monday morning, we have a personal and professional development session with JC. The session that stood out the most to me was learning about emotional and rational decision making. Emotional decisions are decisions made with choices and emotional state. They are often made quickly and in the moment. Rational decisions, on the other hand, are choices made using facts, logic, and common sense. This session stood out the most to me because it made me think every time I'm making a decision, whether it's emotional or rational. Some technical difficulties I had was a sensor being was labeled misleadingly on the website I bought them from. I had to figure it out on my own and rewire them. Also, the first valve I used, which was this one, was broken and didn't open all the way. So I had to replace it with my current one, which now works. I found out during testing, I found out that filling the tank took 4 minutes. However, draining it took 21 minutes. It's a long time. After doing my SCADA, I also found out that my program no longer worked the same way, and I had to change some ANDs logics. I used a different valve, but the first one didn't work, and it now works fine, although it takes a long time. I also had to change my program because my SCADA messed it up. The end result is that I have a fully working project and a successful SCADA. As I mentioned before, I wired the sensors incorrectly because they weren't labeled clearly on the website. This caused me to realize that I always had to double check information. I also learned to waterproof my tank because it was leaking after I inputted the sensors, and I used some waterproof glue. I've also learned to always use heat shrink tubing to avoid short circuits. I could also add more methods in the future, such as a water temperature sensor, which measures the water in the tank. I could also add mobile notifications to notify you when the tank is almost empty or full. I could also add a log of water levels, so you can always know what the water level was at a certain time. I could also make my system work with both solids and more liquids. This is my bill of materials. The total came out to be around 4,177 Rand, and I spent about 112 hours on my project. I would like to thank Wynand for this opportunity at Automation Works, Tanny Elmery for his support, and for Nick for helping me. I will now demonstrate how my project worked. I will now demonstrate my SCADA and what it does. As you can see the system on your web browser over a local network. Over here you can see the pump, and when it's active, this circle turns and the valve is currently closed, but as soon as it's open, it points down. You can manually start the pump and stop the pump and open and close the valve from here. You can also see where the water level is at and what sensor is currently triggered. I will simulate the valve by draining it, and then it will automatically start filling it as soon as it's empty. Basically, it can start draining, and after a few seconds it will be empty, and then the pump will automatically turn on. Draining it just takes a long time.
4 minutes. This is coming up?
Yes. I guess it's being stubborn now. But I will demonstrate now that the pump can automatically start a pump from here. The pump will automatically go on. You can simulate over the local network. And let's say you want to stop the pump. You don't want a lot of water in it. You can stop it again from here. And also, if you want to, you now realize you want to drain it again. You can open the valve and start draining. And you can see this one, it's open now, as you can show. And when the pump was on, it was turning. Thank you. Any questions?
I have a question. Have you ever thought of optimizing the workflow by using the one pump and an extra valve to drain it? By switching the valve to drain it with one pump and fill it with one pump. And you don't have to wait so long.
What do you mean?
So you close the valve,
Yes.
you open the valve, but you close another valve on the top of that one.
Yes.
So you just have to change your pipes. So you're going to use the same pump to drain your tank. So you're going to optimize the flow, because now you're working on gravity. You're trying to empty the whole tank on gravity.
Yes.
So it's a little bit, you don't, not all of us have that time to look for it. And then I have another question. In real world application, have you ever think of what Eskom must do? So in load shedding,
You can use a generator.
you're going to use a generator. Okay. So let's say
Or
you
solar
have money
power.
for a generator. Do you program have automatically start up sensing
You can automatically start up as well. Like-
without you doing it?
Yes.
Okay.
As soon as it's like it loses power, and then power comes back and starts automatically again.
Otherwise, you need to
Yeah.
get someone always to start it, and then you are real at point number one again.
Yes.
Someone has to start the pump again, and then you don't have to actually, how can I say, fix the problem.
Yes.
But just a thought, using one pump, extra valve, and then you can use it to drain your tank much quicker.
They're actually smart. Any other questions?
Sjoe, ek vir iets vra, kan ek maar Afrikaans?
Ja.
Baie goeie ontwerp, wat ek gesien het, baie prakties. Net 'n vraagie op jou pompbeskerming wat jy van gepraat het, nee. As jy jou pomp droog loop, dan gaan jy skade kry.
Ja.
So want dan trek jy mos in die water in jou tank en so die sensors op die tank. Maar net 'n voorstel as jy sê maar uit 'n rivier uit of 'n dam, laer as die pomp trek om daar ook 'n sensor in te sit sodat jy weet daar's water vir jou pomp om te trek sodat as die water te laag raak en as die water op te trek dan sny die pomp uit.
Jy kan sensor nie by in die reservoir sit.
Ja, daar waar die pomp suig net. So dis gewoonlik waar die pomp breek. En dan die tweede ding het jy net genoem van valve positioning wat jou motortjie uithou of jou pomp uithou.
Die pomp in die valve kan nie dieselfde oop wees nie.
Het jy 'n sensortjie daarop of hoe meet jy dit?
Op mijn program gezet.
Op die program. So as die valve toe is dan gaan hy nie aan nie.
Ja.
Okay.
Any other questions?
So met iemand ook kan daai valve oopmaak.
Nee, het gaan er zelf aan. Dus niet die valve. Die manual valve moet altijd open wees.
So hy kan die hele tyd oop
Ja.
bly. Of hulle net my wys vir hom maar dan.
Sean, jy het genoem van ultrasonic sensors. Het jy daai ultrasonic in motor ingedruk en gekyk wat maak hy as hy gou?
Infrared.
Dat is infrared sensors. Ik denk dat het een verschil maakt. Maar dat is die licht uit. Dus infrared light.
Dit is maar net 'n voorstel. Ek vra want wat gebeur tydjie is jy tank in die binnekant maar 'n filament op die tank ja. Van alter of wat jy wil. So, dis maar net iets wat ek voorstel wat ons moet toets as ek so iets wil uitgooi kommersieel. Mooi. Baie goed.